Tonight we're making one of my favorites from Paris, steak au poivre. Oh, you.
Welcome to Paris, Charles de Gaulle Airport.
Sam, Zaddy, you want a hot dog?
Hey guys, I'm Mariah Milano and welcome back to my kitchen. I went to this amazing restaurant in Paris called Bistro Paul Bert, and that is their specialty. So now I'm making it for you guys. Just look how rich and creamy that was. Absolutely perfect. We are using New York strip, nice and thick, that I got from Wild Fork. And you can order it online, the website right on the screen. And the prices are really good as well. And it's primed Angus aged beef. Okay, so here's what we're working with. These are our ingredients. Of course, we have our New York strips, peppercorn, butter, shallots, fleur de sel, and some brandy. And you can use cognac. I'm just using a cheap brandy. And then, of course, some cracked pepper. Fresh is always best. And we're gonna use a nice hot cast iron skillet, and our oven is set to 500 degrees. And we have some beef stock with a little bit of tomato paste in it. Oh, and I forgot, we have some heavy whipping cream. And get good stuff, don't get cheap stuff. Some grapeseed oil, because it has a good smoke point, better than olive oil. And we have butter, but that's for our sauce. You can't cook a steak in butter because the butter burns way too fast. So let's get started. So now we're gonna crust our steak in the crushed pepper, and we're only gonna do one side. You don't need it to be overwhelming. A little bit more there. So now we're gonna add a little bit of sea salt on top of that. Perfect. So now our skillet is smoking, so it's nice and hot. And we're only gonna sear this in the cast iron. We're not gonna cook it in here because the steak is too thick and it'll cook too much on the outside and not enough on the inside. So we're gonna sear it and then put it in the 500-degree oven for about 5 minutes. And that'll be a perfect medium rare in the skillet. And no matter what you do, even if you want to, do not touch them for at least 3 minutes. And the reason you don't touch it is because when it's not ready, it'll stick. So if you've ever went and turned over a piece of steak or a piece of chicken and it's stuck, that's why, because you didn't leave it on long enough. God, it's so tempting to turn these over. It smells good. I almost want to FaceTime my mom because she would love this. She loves her pepper. Woo. And I just sneezed too because of so much pepper. Oh man. And we're gonna use the rendered fat from the steak in our sauce. Man, it's gonna be so good. My house smells amazing right now. Wow, look at that crust. And again, don't touch them for about 3 minutes. Okay, so now we're gonna put our whole skillet in the oven on the middle rack. Okay, so our steaks are out of the oven. Always keep something on the handle of that because that motherfucker is so hot. So we're gonna put our steaks on a cooling rack. And I just put some paper towels under it for the drippings. Look how thick that bitch is. It's perfect. And it smells so good too. That is a perfect medium rare. So our skillet is really hot, so we're gonna deglaze that with our brandy. And make sure you don't flambe it. See how it's cooking down all those little particles? That is pure flavor and it smells amazing. Now we're gonna put in our shallots. If you don't have shallots, you can use diced onions. I like shallots because they're a little milder. Now we're gonna give those a stir and let them cook a little bit and soak up some of that brandy. Look at the crust on that. Zaddy, you want a hot dog? And you want to let those rest for about 10 minutes. So now we're going to add our beef stock. And remember, this has a little bit of tomato paste in it, so it makes it rich. And now we're going to reduce that by about half. The smell of that with the cognac and the shallots and the beef stock, oh my God, so good. And if you're wondering when the butter's going to come in, that's at the very end. And a lot of people say a good steak only needs salt and pepper. but I promise you this steak will blow your mind. And we're gonna make this a steak frites, which is a classic steak and fries. And those are in my air fryer right now. And will be ready in just a minute. Wait till you guys see how this looks on a plate. I'm sad for you that you don't get to eat it with me, but I just wish you could smell through the camera. It's too bad that you can't, because the smell is to die for. And we turn the heat up a little bit because we want to cook that down. You don't want it to be too soupy, because we're going to add our heavy cream to it in a minute, and our peppercorn, and then our butter. Yummy. So our sauce is reduced to about half, so now we're going to add our heavy whipping cream. And we're not going to use a lot. Give that a nice stir, and we're going to bring that up to a boil, and that'll thicken up real nice once you bring that to a simmer. Okay, so our sauce is back up to a bubbling simmer, and now we're going to add our peppercorns. In full disclosure, usually you use green peppercorns, which are raw, but I didn't have any. So I'm going to use less of the toasted black peppercorn so it's not overpowering. Too overpowering. And right now, if we wanted to make steak Diane, we would add Dijon mustard to our sauce right now. And that is literally the only difference with the Poivre and steak Diane. So our sauce is thickening up, and you want it to just get enough where it's sticking to the back of the spoon. See how it's sticking to the back of the spoon? That's what you want. So now we can turn off the heat. Now we're gonna add our butter, about 3 patties. We don't want to put it at the beginning because we don't want it to get oily. We want it to stay creamy. So there's that. We're going to give that a stir. Look how nice and creamy that is. I would pour this all over my body. I'd let it cool down a little bit first, but So we're going to let that settle, and we're going to get our fries ready. So our fries are ready. So now we're going to dump them in this bowl. Nice and crisp. Look at that. So now we're going to put some parsley and salt in our fries. So we're going to dump that in there. And use good kosher salt. I'm using Fleur de Sel, which is a Mediterranean sea salt. Oh my God, I can't. So I cut my steak into slices, and now we're going to plate this beautiful steak au poivre. And I want you to look how perfectly medium rare the steak is. So we're gonna start with a little puddle of our sauce right in the middle of our plate. And now we're gonna lay our steak right in the middle, right across our sauce. Look at that. Now we're gonna take a big heaping pile of our fries and lay them right here. Now we're gonna pour our sauce over the top of our steak. You're gonna coat it completely. God, that smells outrageous. So remember, this steak is really thick, so a lot of sauce is not gonna hurt it. And there you have a steak au poivre. That looks beautiful. And now we're gonna try it. And don't worry, I've already had plenty of fries. They're so good. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's incredible. Better than most of the restaurants you'll go to. Anybody would like this. Like, it's so good. I can't even explain it. Oh my God.
Right?
Oh, it is so good. Like, this is hard for me. I can't wait till the camera's done because I'm gonna tear this up. And of course with the fries. Oh my God. Come on. You hear that crunch? Make this. Let me know how you like it in the comments, and I hope you will subscribe and like this video. I'll see you next time. Au revoir. Oh, fuck you. Here's a couple videos that I know you're gonna love. Click this one to subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button and leave me a comment. I'll see you next time.